Hey y'all, thanks for tuning into another video. This is how to bring your honest emotions to God. And so I shared on my pod something that I experienced this week that just has me in a very different space emotionally. And I know that that's not going to last forever. But I made mention of the fact that my normal go-to behavior, because I have formerly been a people pleaser and formerly been somebody who didn't necessarily process their own emotions just because there wasn't space for that. I was too busy dealing with other people's emotions. So I would just stuff them. I would stuff them because nobody really wanted to hear what I had to say. I would stuff them because it was just easier to do that. There was less time spent when you stuffed, but I eventually realized that the more you stuff, the more actually you are spending time on this imploding or exploding that you're going to experience as a result of stuffing. Either your body's going to experience some sort of ailment that you're going to have to be down for, whether it's an injury or a sickness or something that your body can't sustain negative energy from your emotions for too long and endure that for too long. And eventually something negative is going to happen as a result of it. And I think that being self-aware about that has helped me to have those conversations with people. But it's a lot more difficult to bring your honest emotions to God when you have so much respect for Him. You have fear about, what life looks like without living it with Him. So there's that underlying feeling of fear. But you also don't want to have that conversation where you're saying, I know you know better, but why would you do this to me? Because it just feels like a very, it's like an oxymoron in conversation. It's like on the one hand, you're saying you know that He knows all the ways, but on the other hand, you're questioning why He would do things this way. And so it can become really difficult to bring that conversation to Him because you already feel apologetic, you already feel guilty, you already feel shameful because you've had these conversations in your head that are like, what in the world is he doing? And he wants me to trust him, but I literally threw him the alley-oop and he certainly did not slam dunk that. He did the exact opposite of what I thought he was going to do. And when you're in a space where that's what happens, it is a very surreal experience because you know that you trust Him, you know that you believe in Him, but part of you just knew that He was going to do this thing. And then when He doesn't do it, you're literally left dumbfounded as to why wouldn't He do it? And it's not even to the space where you're thinking like, what is He saving me from? Because you don't even see that yet. You're just like, does He even love me at all? Like, did He just forget about me altogether? And we're not going to stay there, but you have to be able to bring those honest emotions to Him, because guess what? If you thought it, He knows it anyway. So to try to hide that from Him is not going to be productive because He already knows that you thought the emotion and that you feel the emotion. So to pretend like you don't have it is really just lying and thinking that God is going to believe that lie, and He's not. So how do you bring those honest emotions to Him? You literally say exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're feeling. God, I know that feelings are fleeting, but right now I am hurt and I'm struggling and I'm trying to understand your why. I'm trying to figure out if you actually see me. I'm trying to see if you actually understand that your yes in this situation would have created so much less turmoil for me and would have taken the stress off my shoulders and would have made it a little bit easier to endure what I'm experiencing. And I know that you have a reason that you said no, but I don't see that reason right now. And it's not easy for me to walk through this knowing that 2 years ago I told myself, you can do this, just keep enduring it. That position is going to come open. And then a year later, don't worry, I see it, it's coming. And then a year later, okay, so the position is here, we're going to apply for it, and we get the interview and we go in there and we feel like we did all things right. and yet you still say no. And I don't understand why you would take me all the way to the very end of this and then say no anyway. I don't understand why you would equip me with all the things to be able to do this and to say no anyway. And I don't know what you're going to do, but I know that I can't sustain this for much longer, that I'm tired, and I need you to help me to endure, but I also need you to give me a break here. Like, I've been doing this for far too long and I'm just exhausted. And that's a shortened version of the prayer that I have said to him, but I don't feel guilty. I feel like God gives you a space to be completely honest with him. In fact, he already knows your honesty before you bring it to him, but the fact that you do bring it to him lets him know that you desire the relationship with him, that you desire the closeness with him, even in the bad situations, that you desire to be vulnerable with him. And he sees that, and he understands that you could have chosen to just turn to something else, but you're choosing to come to him. And now you're asking him to do something. If he can't change the outcome, then change something in you that sees whatever it is, the hope or the other outcome that's going to happen, etc. But realistically, it is very intimidating to have to bring your honest emotions to him. But it is also serving you to let him know that you're willing to bring your honest emotions to him, that you're willing to be vulnerable with him, and that you're willing to hear what he has to say, because you have endured for quite a while and you want him to make moves that only he can make. But right now you just feel lost as to what he's doing. And he knows and he hears you, and eventually he's going to show you what his reasoning was. But you first have to be honest with him. It's just like if you're in a relationship with someone and they ask you if you're okay, and you keep saying you're fine, and eventually you just completely lose it because you're not fine and you weren't fine and you needed to share this, but you didn't share it. And so now you have to share it, but it's mixed in with a little bit of resentment and frustration when that wasn't necessarily the case initially. And so you're doing that same thing with God. You're saying, I know you're good, but this doesn't feel good. And I know that you're a miracle worker, but this doesn't feel like you're creating a miracle for me. I feel like you've forgotten me and I don't understand what you're doing here. And eventually you'll be able to ask him to help you to surrender your preferred outcome and trust him. And eventually you'll get to a place where your perspective shifts and you're able to rely on scripture and him. But right now, the first step is to just be able to bring your honest emotions to him, just like you would a friend. Whether you're hurt, frustrated, angry, whatever it is, there's a space for those emotions. Your feelings aren't facts, but your feelings are valid. And he understands why you feel them, because he knows what you're enduring and he knows how difficult it is. So bring those emotions to him and just sit there with him. He will sustain you. He will hear you. And even if it doesn't make the circumstance better, it will still make you feel better to get it out and to share exactly what you're experiencing. So if it's you today and you're going through a disappointing time and you need to be able to bring those honest emotions to God, I hope that this video has helped. If it's not you and you know someone that it may help, go ahead and share this video. Like and subscribe to my channel, copy the link and share it with some friends. Subscribe to this page, follow me on other pages on my other socials, and make sure that you remember that knowledge gained and kept to yourself is selfish, but shared with the world could just be the catalyst for change that they need to surrender and break free from the bondage that they're experiencing. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time.